Hi everyone, welcome to this highly anticipated episode. Today I am interviewing Alan. He has recently started his own tax return business, Green Room Tax Service. He's a local actor in the Twin Cities as well. I will be linking to the website below. He is super helpful. We talk about all things deductions and kind of no shame in having a day job and things like that. So I hope you enjoy this episode. It was really helpful to talk with him. So enjoy. This is Alan. Hello, welcome. So tell me a little bit about yourself, how you got into, first of all, acting, and then how you got into doing kind of like tax and financial things for actors.
Okay, well, I first started getting into acting when I was 15 years old. I was a sophomore in high school, and I got cut from my JV basketball team, and I had nothing else to do, and so I saw that they were having auditions for the spring play, which was a play called Scapino. Okay. And in that, I played a street bum, and I had a lot of fun doing that, and so the following fall, I decided to go out for it again, and that year we did Seussical, the musical. Okay. And that was my first musical I did. I played the Mayor of Whoville, and basically I've been involved in it ever since, and ironically enough, I actually did the Seussical, the musical at Paul Bunyan Playhouse, and that's how I met my wife.
Oh, well, full circle.
Yep. And so I graduated from Concordia St. Paul in 2013 with a major in theater and a minor in dance. Okay. And I've been acting in theater and film, for the past five years, I guess that would be, 5 or 6 years, and so... but then, as far as taxes are concerned, this all started back when I was just finishing up college. So my dad's a business owner, and he runs a greenhouse over in Lester Prairie. And when I was in college, he said, are they going to talk at all about finances and all the deductions you can take? And I was like, I never heard about any of that. Yeah. I mean, they didn't teach us any of that stuff. And so he basically gave me a list of stuff that I could deduct there. Now, he wasn't a trained, accountant or anything like that there, but... basically, I took that to heart, and so for several years, I just wrote some deductions off there, took some business expenses, and I used a CPA that my parents were using. Okay. But the thing is that they were the kind of CPA, I guess you could kind of say, were in terms of fees, they gouged out your eyes. Oh, it was very expensive, and so later on, after I married my wife, we were in the Twin Cities, and I picked another tax preparer for 1 year. But then I thought to myself, maybe I should try, see if I can do that myself. And now, I didn't actually file them, but basically I filled out a tax form on my own, and then I sent out the stuff to a tax preparer and I saw how it compared, and I saw, hey, you know what, I think I could probably do this. And one thing that I noticed that whenever I looked on the Facebook pages like Twin Cities Theater People or TC Cinematics, I saw that one common question around the time of year was, where's a good place for actors to have their taxes done? Now, there is one other spot in the Twin Cities area that does do that, but unfortunately, they have a long waiting list, a very long waiting list, and so basically, they're kind of swamped with that. And so I thought to myself, hey, I thought, doing my taxes was kind of fun, and there's obviously a demand out there. So I thought, why not put one together with a special emphasis for actors? And so I took my training from the National Tax Training School, got my PTIN number, and right now I am a member of the annual filing season program. Okay. And then in 2017, I founded Green Room Tax Service.
That's awesome. A lot of actors, I feel like we're all very...
distinctive.
Yeah.
Yeah, the thing is that, a lot of those CPAs and enrolled agents, they might know the technical stuff, but they don't know what life is like as an actor. And a lot of the situations that we come across with as artists are situations that you normally don't really come across when you're dealing with, your typical, client, with, the non-actors and non-artists out there. Yeah. One other point there is that, it turns out that actually, as I was learning about how to take these deductions, I was taking my tax training, I actually found out that a few of the things that my dad said that I could deduct, I actually found out I couldn't. So, it's also, that's one thing that I kind of find with a lot of actors, that a lot of times they hear stuff on the street, street knowledge, and that, the thing is that even if you're like, take for instance, the mileage deduction, you can usually write off miles that you, if you own a vehicle and you drive it, to and from auditions, you can deduct the mileage there. But the thing is that some people are not aware of when they can deduct mileage and when they cannot deduct mileage. There is the option of taking actual expenses for a vehicle, but more often than not, it's much better to take the mileage deduction because you'll get much more bang for your buck. But when you take the mileage deduction, you can't deduct things like gasoline or depreciation or any of that stuff. You can deduct parking and tolls in certain situations, but I would say that is by far the most valuable and a lot of times overlooked deductions that actors and artists can take.
Yeah, this is the first year, 2019, once 2019 started, it's the first year that I've started taking mileage. I feel like I had no idea. So when I started deducting things, it was my first summer festival I was working at. I was in grad school. I think it was like between my first and second year of grad school. And that's when I learned in grad school that I could take deductions.
You know, and that's another thing that I also am doing too, is that I've actually been promoting some tax workshops for some colleges and colleges.
Awesome.
And I have done workshops at 3 colleges right now, but yeah, I mean, and hopefully I'll be able to do it some more there. So I guess, you know, if anyone's watching, if you want to have a tax workshop, I mean, tell your professor about me and give a demand out there, because I guess the other thing is that a lot of theater students, you know, we're so focused on like our Shakespeare, our Chekhov, and dancing and all that stuff, and all that's fine and good and essential for getting through the business there. But I mean, a lot of students don't really like understand like the importance of this and just how much it can help them in terms of the finances, because you have to remember that this is a business, and that's the thing that I think a lot of artists, you know, usually like, you know, forget about in the process, is that ultimately it is about, you know, making money.
And I think it's just, you're right, there are a lot of myths out there about like what you can and can't deduct, and there's a lot of misinformation, and it's true, you like don't learn about this kind of stuff in school. I mean, I don't know about you, but like at both of my colleges, there was like not any talk about finances.
Yeah.
And I think that's like really, really tricky.
Basically the disconnect between, you know, in the classroom and then in the real world. But I will definitely say that I think that, at least in terms of the finances of being an actor and basically living, you know, day-to-day life as an actor, is definitely something that seems to be, you know, lacking in a lot of theater programs, because they teach you know, the art and everything, but, you know, they have to prepare you for the fact that, you know, that a lot of times it's not about, you know, you could have all the skill in the world, but if, you know, if you're not lucky and, you know, you don't quite look the part there, you're not going to get that. But, you know, those are the times when, you know, you can really take advantage of deductions and it can really lighten the blow on you.
Right. Definitely. What would you say, like, your biggest tips for performers and like kind of getting through those like tough times? So I know you do mostly like tax stuff, but in terms of like, you know, how to, you know, bridge the gap between, you know, so you have a gig and then you have 2 months off and then you have another gig. Like, yeah, you can, you know, work more hours at your day job or what have you, but like, you know, what about...
Well, I would say, you know, obviously, yes, you said, you know, get yourself a day job. I mean, because I remember that Al Pacino actually said that when he was starting out there with acting, is that, you know, he was really nervous about auditions, but the thing that he said that really helped him was that he didn't see an audition so much as a job interview, he saw it as an opportunity to perform.
Yeah,
because that's the thing
great
about actors and singers, is that we're not like painters or sculptors where we can make the artwork, you know, by ourselves, is that we need an audience, and that's what an audition gives you. And so he said that when he saw it more as an opportunity to perform as opposed to a job interview, you know, he was much more relaxed and much more calm, and, you know, he was doing better at auditions. Now, obviously, in order to be in that position, you have to have the financial aspect taken care of, you know. Don't have to worry about, you know, paying rent or getting food in your stomach. You know, you might not be wealthy, but at least, you know, it'll be okay. It'll be like, you know, hey, if I don't get this, it's not the end of the world. There'll be plenty of other auditions, and hey, I'm given an opportunity to perform.
Right.
And so I guess maybe, I remember that one question you actually sent me was like, what are the biggest mistakes that actors make?
Yeah.
I would say one of them that I see is that, and I've heard this from a number of people, is that they think, oh, I didn't really make anything doing acting work this year, not very much, so I'm not going to write anything off. I'm like, you know, that is actually all the more reason to write it off, because the thing is that if you finish in the red, you know, on paper there, you can actually use that to lower your overall income on your tax return, which in essence is going to either increase your refund or at the very minimum put you in a position where you don't have to pay as much to the IRS.
Yeah, I think that's a really good thing. It's like that idea of like, we have to value ourselves as a business and as like, okay, I am an artist, and I think there's, you know, again, there's no shame in having a day job. There's no like, and there's no shame in like doing like different side work and like doing all this stuff, and I really like what you said about like, you know, you can no matter what, take off your expenses.
Yeah.
Like, I'm a very type A person, and I'm very good at keeping records, and I love like Excel spreadsheets, and I love that kind of stuff. But what if you're like not a person who likes that? I mean, what would you recommend for someone who's like, I don't know, maybe not the most organized? Would you just say like, get organized and like make it a priority?
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what I would say. I mean, hey, seriously, I mean, this is a business.
Take yourself seriously.
This is a business. If you're not approaching your art as a business, how do you expect the IRS to take you seriously as a business?
Yeah, I love that. I love Love that.
And I think also one other thing is that we just need to make a bigger emphasis on this when we're training up actors and also within the universities. I think that's pretty much, one other thing that, needs to kind of like shift up when it comes to like, training in actors is that we need to teach them about the business aspect.
Right.
I guess, just some retirement planning
Yeah,
just
for
a little
artists.
just a little bit of financial retirement advice for artists. I would say that if you are like our age, like our 20s or so, go for the Roth IRAs or Roth 401k plans, because those are the best options. Is that traditional IRAs and traditional 401k plans, once you cash it out, you have to pay tax on the gains there. Now, in certain situations, it is more beneficial for you to take out traditional ones, but that's mainly for the older folks that are actually closer to retirement, where you can actually figure out how much money they're going to be making for the next few years prior to retirement. But as for people our age, the best option is to take out go for a Roth IRA and a Roth 401k plan, because you actually pay taxes a little bit as they're being earned throughout the years, and so then when you cash it out, you don't have to pay any taxes on it. I would say like the biggest thing is have yourself a stable day job, okay?
Yeah, this has been like super duper helpful. Is there anything else like you feel like you want to say before we like wrap things up?
Well, I guess I would say that if you need help with your tax returns, come to Green Room Tax Service. Go to my website, greenroomtax.com. You get $20 off your first return, and you get to have your tax return prepared by a tax preparer who's also an artist himself and an actor.
Love that. I love that. Thank you so much for joining me. This has been super helpful. I think what you're doing is super awesome.
Well, thank you very much, and thank you very much for having me.
Yeah, yay. I'm so glad that this worked out. I hope you guys liked that. I thought it was super informative. But like I said, I still want to share some information that I got from you guys from Instagram, and kind of talk about things that you guys said. So first of all, I have Luke here saying no free gigs. Unless you're getting some type of substantial benefit in terms of connections, but exposure doesn't cut it. It devalues your talent as a commodity. Even charities and nonprofits have a budget. It's all about negotiation. Yes. My friend Billy says, my best advice is to strive to find a source of income that is your passion. Also, I am never afraid to ask for compensation for a gig and or negotiate it if I feel it is too low. Negotiate. I think it's totally fair to negotiate a different price, especially if you have degree/experience. If you don't fight for yourself, no one else will. Also, it's cliche and everyone knows it, but just not spending on stupid shit. Sounds about right. Lastly, investing in smart things that make your life easier, like your own printer/copier. I have one of those. Lifesaver. Ask for it for Christmas. Literally, that's what I did one year, and I am super duper happy. My friend Ladarian said, for me, I do a lot of small side hustles. I make performance reels and edit resumes for people. This is mostly for my drag money, but I also make drag mixes for drag queens. Ladarian is an awesome drag queen. You should check them out. Ellie says, find good strategies to pack your food. Find simple things you like that are portable and make a habit out of having everything for the day ready the night before. I know I always spend so much money if I'm unprepared and have to eat out throughout the week. Yes. Gabriella says, Costco always does a fab job on my headshots for a reasonable price. Also, buy the cheapest makeup that won't hurt your skin. The audience can't see if it's fancy from far away. Yes, a lot of drugstore makeup is actually just fine for your skin. It's gonna do the damage anyway, so. Nora says, spend all the money on important shit when you got it, because you may never have it again. Yeah, kinda. Also, seriously, watching The Art of Tidying Up has helped me make much better financial decisions. It's a must-see. So that's on Netflix. You guys all know that. Jamie has little tips. Number one is budget. The You Need a Budget app has absolutely changed my life. I should check that out, and so should you. 2, try not to get into debt when you're out of work, or you'll be using all your performing earnings to dig yourself out of debt. That's really smart. 3, invest wisely in your work/art. Take classes and lessons, get promotional materials, pay your union dues, join a casting database, but do your research. Amen. So I hope that all helps. This is a loaded episode, so I hope you took your notes, because, that's what you do when you watch YouTube videos. Anyway, have a great rest of your week. I'm super excited for some other videos that will be coming out later this month. And have a good one, guys.